Hey guys, this is Gamer Creed. So I decided to make another quick video on what I do for a living and how you can apply it to your lives and help make you money, hopefully. So what I do for a living is basically I own a business that's a complete business solutions company. We do everything from project management to managed IT services to deployments to installations and so forth. And a lot of our clients include like Walmart, Jimmy John's, NCR, Black Box. There's Jimmy John's, Taco Maker, Taco Bell, Wendy's, Contingent, Sports Academy, and there's literally about 500 others that we've done all work for. And we've always met or exceeded expectations, and we kind of pride ourselves on that. Being the owner, and that especially where now I have employees and so forth, it kind of is stressful, where the fact that you do have to constantly not only think of how you're going to pay your own bills, but to make sure that your employees are taken care of and that they can pay theirs. So it does have its stresses and disadvantages and so forth, and I'm sure any of you guys that have gone into like as an independent contractor or so forth, you kind of understand some of those stresses and so forth. But so how can you make money, and what's the best way to make money? That's really a question I hear a lot. Because I'll always go to different businesses and they want me to tell them how to make their business more profitable and so forth. And so I always tell them, don't necessarily look at the big number. The big number really doesn't matter at all. Now what matters is your margins on that number. Let me explain what I mean by that. You can be making several $1,000,000 every single month, but when you're only walking away with, say, 1,000 of it, is that very good? I wouldn't say so. That's ridiculous overhead. That's way too low of wiggle room. That if something goes wrong, you have a big expense that comes up, and that you're pretty much screwed and dead in water. That's not a good situation you want to be in ever. So something that's like somebody that's only making in, say, 500,000 or even 20 grand a month or so in business as a business, and they're hauling in at least 6,000 or 7,000 a month, and that I would say is a lot more successful in business than somebody that's hauling in 20 million and only hauling in a couple thousand a month. It's a lot better margins and a lot more success, obviously. So how can you take this and apply it to your life or your business or so forth? Well, it's quite easy. What you can do for yourself is to analyze what expenses you have, which ones you need, which ones you don't. And it doesn't mean go cheap on all your services. In fact, I often recommend the opposite. Cheap services will cause delays in your time, increased labor costs, and so forth. So even if something is cheaper at first, it can actually cost you more in the long run. And so you definitely do not want to do that at all. So what we pride ourselves on as a business solutions company is the fact that we have the ability to take good solutions that we found out there in the market and be able to integrate them into one centralized solution that not only is more profitable for you guys, but it helps you integrate, it increases or decreases your workflow process, so that way you have increased productivity, you have increased turnout and everything, as far as what you can produce on a daily basis, and also it simplifies things so that way there's less margin for error, which is obviously a very, very crucial, essential thing in both business and your personal life. So the next thing I would also look at in your business is what your priorities are and what the three main focuses are. You obviously want to focus on what your short-term goals are, your mid-term, and your long-term goals. So your short-term goals is what you're trying to accomplish in the next little while. You don't want to have too many. I see businesses all the time where they want to accomplish like 500 different things and just basically go through this hyper inflated growth, which is obviously not good at all. If you look into business, you want steady, sustained, and very stable growth. Now you can do that at a ridiculously high rate, and I've proven that over and over and over again, and that with different businesses that I've worked with, machine shops and so forth. It really, really is easy to do stuff like that. It's just how you do it and how you manage your business, and that is the biggest crucial aspect. You'll also notice that companies like, there's big companies that are very profitable, like Walmart, Shopko, Kmart, and so forth, that they, if you look at their business model, and that they do have a point in that, and their executives are, let's just say they do think that they know everything, which is obviously not the case. They've never necessarily been in a store. They don't really know how things work in the store, and so they're making their decisions behind a desk. And that's what happens when you get to a certain big point in your business, and that where it's very, very hard to manage everything properly and accordingly. And that's where having a very good structure in place is so crucial, and why also you small businesses out there have such a great chance to be able to succeed and do well against these bigger companies, because these bigger companies, and that they didn't structure properly in the get-go, they went through this hyper growth, and now they're a very disorganized chaos company with very high shrink rates. They have ridiculous overheads and so forth, which I think is stupid. But they think they know everything, so I leave it at that. I just do what work they ask me to do and leave it at that. They say that their business model is proven, and yes, they do make ridiculous good money, but the thing is the only reason they're making good money is because of basically the fact that they have a geographical lockdown. And that's obviously something that most of you guys out there can't do. You can't put out, like, honestly, you could put a company out of business like Walmart, and that within, I would say reasonably within the next 10 years, if you had about a $70 billion investment or so forth, because that would allow you to get that geographical lockdown big enough to challenge companies like Walmart and so forth. But in order to become, or to accomplish that, you'd almost have to become a greater evil than them. And it's not necessarily bashing on Walmart. I know some of you guys like to go there. I'm sometimes forced to go there, but it's just a personal thing that I don't really support their business ethics or anything, or how they treat their customers or employees for that. And that's being on both the consumer side and working with them on the business side. And it's not just them, there are plenty of other companies out there that are just like that, that are very, very shady as far as their ethics go and so forth. And you can push all you want about how they pay more and how they offer great benefits and so forth. It's a joke, and I'm not getting into that. So what can you do, though, to become better and to establish your company? You need to not only look at the things that I've advised you to, but you also need to look at the whole picture. Stop micromanaging everything. Stop focusing on the stupid little inconsequential items, and focus on what really matters in your business, which is work ethics, your honesty, your integrity, and so forth. Because if you take care of your clients and you actually show you do care, I am more than willing to pay. It doesn't matter if their hourly cost is $250 an hour, which is actually quite reasonable nowadays for a service. I will gladly pay that over somebody that's only charging $50 an hour, just based on the level of service or quality of service that I am receiving. And I think that goes for about anyone. It's one of the reasons I don't shop certain places is because of the fact that I'm not treated as well. And yeah, it could save me money and that, but honestly, I'm going to only give my business to people that deserve it and have earned that that relationship. So the next other things that you can do is really, literally when it comes down to the brass tacks of everything, is it depends how hard you are willing to work. What are you willing to do to make sure that your business is accomplished and can get everything that you need to done so you guys can be successful and you can accomplish your long-term goals. And a lot of you that might be watching this are employees of other companies and you're just looking to see how you can make money. Well, how I look at it and how I look at business and so forth is that you can either spend your whole life accomplishing somebody else's dream by working for them and helping them accomplish what their long-term goals are, or you can do your own business and watch your own dreams become a reality. So we do need both types of people, though. We need workers and we need entrepreneurs. That's how the world works. You just have to determine which kind of person you are, because obviously a technician and that, or everybody is not a businessman. You have to find people that are business-minded and so forth. So like for instance, for me in my business, I suck at accounting, I hate paperwork and so forth. I'm very disorganized when it comes to stuff like that. So to make sure my clients are taken care of and that, I actually have to outsource that. I have a different accounting firm that I hire to make sure that all of that stuff is in order, and then I also hire a secretary, and then I also have a maintenance program that maintains and tracks all the information on different clients and so forth. So that way I can just go in there and make sure that I have all the information I need to make sure I can assist them accordingly and make sure that they are taken care of, and there's just that not that loss of communication and so forth. So you have to identify your weaknesses, though. Make sure that you are able to take care of your clients in every aspect. So you have to be very honest. This is where it comes down, where a crucial point is anyway. That you have to be honest with yourself and be able to realize your weak points and where you have some shortcomings that you are not able to fully take care of your clients or exceed their expectations. And you recognize those shortcomings and don't accept them as failure or something. You either A, learn to increase them, or B, obviously you can't learn everything, so you hire people that will do a good job to handle those shortcomings and make you successful in whatever your endeavors are. So literally that's what it's going to take anyway for you guys to become successful. Getting out of bed, working your ass off from dusk till dawn, and keep on doing it. But remember always to what matters most to you. Don't lose sight of your family, don't lose sight of your friends and everything else. Push those away, because when you become successful, if you've pushed those people away your whole life and shoved them to the ground, and that to make way for your success, and that you're never going to be happy in the long run. So have that balance, and that's going to be the hardest thing for you, is to balance that and recognize. So set a couple hours every week in that to spend time with your family, your loved ones, and so forth. No, they're not going to be. You're not going to satisfy everyone. There's always people, especially like your wife, and that or husband, or whatever the case may be, your partner, that is not going to be always happy with your work schedule and that, but if they love you and that, they'll understand and they can help you accomplish those goals. Just make sure you don't shove them to the dirt and despite just for your gain. It's no way to do business, and it's something that you're going to really regret later on in life. So I leave that with you, and if you guys have any comments, questions, subscribes, I apologize for the long rant, but please give me your feedback. It helps out a lot to know what I need to improve on and do better. But until then, you guys have a great day and take care. Bye.